Welcome to Range of Reality, the podcast where we talk real world personal safety, empowerment, and situational awareness. I'm your host, Jody Salerno. Before I begin this episode, I'd like to tell you about my sponsor. It's my sponsors that allow me to do this podcast, so please support them. If you ever have to defend yourself, the fight doesn't end when the threat is gone. Legal trouble, court cost, lost wages, it all adds up fast. And that's where the United States Concealed Carry Association comes in. They provide award-winning self-defense training and education, but more than that, they've secured liability insurance for their members that helps cover bail, legal fees, and other critical costs after an incident. Over 860,000 responsible Americans already have that backup plan. If you carry or just care about protecting what matters, visit uscca.com and see why peace of mind is part of being prepared. Again, uscca.com, or you can always jump over to my website, rangeofreality.com. Thank you for supporting my sponsor. Today, we're diving into one of the most important topics, how to stay safe, prepared, and empowered while traveling. Why is preparation the number one step to travel safety? Because most of the time, people get targeted when they're unprepared, distracted, or unaware of the local risks. If you even do basic research and planning ahead of time, you eliminate 80% of the most common mistakes. What are some of the things that you should research about your destinations? Well, the first thing you want to research is your local customs and the dress. You want to blend in, not stand out. In some countries, modest dress is expected, or certain behaviors in public are seen as disrespectful. You know, that takes me to one of my customers I was just talking to that did a lot of research. He was traveling abroad. And one of the things that he found out is that Americans lean. I think we're the only country, he said, where we lean. So if other countries see you leaning against different things, they know you're American. I thought that was pretty interesting. You want to research high-risk areas. Every city has parts that are more prone to pickpocketing, scams, or even assault. Know those areas and avoid them. Some of the most common scams. Some cities are known for taxi scams, others for fake monks or helpful locals trying to lead you to a shop. Just knowing what to expect helps you spot trouble early. And also you want to research your self-defense laws. What tools are legal? In some places, pepper spray is banned. In others, even carrying a tactical pen can get you in trouble. And what about your digital security? You know, you want to use a VPN anytime you're on a hotel or airport Wi-Fi. Make sure your phone is fully updated. System updates often include security patches, which are very important. Back up your important documents, your passports, IDs, credit cards, insurance cards. You want to back it up to a secure cloud service. And download offline maps and key phrases in the local language in case you lose your signal and you don't have any Wi-Fi. Why does your mindset matter? Because when you're prepared, you walk differently. You move with purpose, you're harder to distract, and someone who's prepared is far less appealing to a predator or a scammer. Let's talk a little bit about airports, transportation, and hotels. These are such common danger zones. And why is that? Because travelers are often tired, jet-lagged, and distracted, which makes them easy targets. What are some of the things that travelers should do to stay safe at the airport or on a plane? Well, first thing you want to do is wear an anti-theft bag, crossbody, not a backpack hanging off one shoulder. You want to keep your passport, your ID, your phone, and your wallet on your body, not in luggage or overhead bins. Stay off your phone when moving through terminals. Pickpockets target distracted people. VPN on a public Wi-Fi. Again, we talked about this. You want to have a VPN on any public Wi-Fi and be careful about logging into sensitive accounts. And again, avoid posting flight info or hotel details in real time. Predators monitor social media, and this makes you a really easy target. How about ground transportation? You know, when you're using the rideshare apps, use trusted apps. Never accept a ride from someone who just approaches you, which you will have happen in other countries. When using these apps, you always want to confirm the license plate and the driver photo. Don't skip this step. Don't get into any car that pulls up saying they're a rideshare. Make sure you do your due diligence before you get into that car. You want to sit in the back seat behind the driver. It gives you more options if something feels off. You want to watch the map on your phone as you ride. If the driver takes an unexpected route, speak up or end the ride in a safe public space. Another thing I like to say is when you get into these cars, think about the child lock function on a car. If you get in these cars, you get in the back seat and that driver puts on the child lock, you're going to have a heck of a time trying to get back out of that car. I always suggest to drive with your window down or at least halfway down so that you can get out if you need to. In rental cars, inspect the vehicle first. When you're walking up to your rental car, you want to scan the underneath of the car when you're walking towards it. You're looking for people that are underneath that car, beside that car, hiding around that car. Keep it locked. Once you get in, keep it locked, and you want to avoid isolated parking lots, especially at night. Inspect that vehicle, not only underneath, but before you get in that car. Check the back seats, check the hatch, check where anybody could be hiding. You want to make sure that nobody's in that car that can hurt you. And what about the hotel rooms? First thing I do when I get to the hotel is I prop the door open with my bag, because what I'm doing is I'm checking all the locks. Do the doors lock? How about the deadbolt? Are the windows, are they secure, especially if I'm on one of the lower ground levels? If my room has a balcony, I'm checking the balcony doors because these often get overlooked. And how about, again, any hiding spots, closets, under beds, bathrooms? You want to use portable locks if you have one, and if you don't, they're very easy to get on Amazon. There's locks and there's personal alarms that you can buy that everyone should have that you can take with you. They're personal alarms that you either can put on the base of the door, that if somebody tries to open that door, that will signal an alarm and notify you. You can always put them on your windows also. So if somebody tries to open the window or break the window, it's going to alert you. And never say your room number aloud in the front desk or in public. Why is it dangerous to post travel details online in real time? Well, it broadcasts where you are and that you may be alone. Criminals do watch social media for targets, especially solo women. And it's safer to post after you've moved on from that location. Look, I know everybody wants to post and talk about how wonderful their vacation is, but there's a lot of time to do that once you get back to the States or wherever you're safe again in your home. Let's talk about personal safety while exploring. How can you blend in while traveling? Well, dress appropriately for the location. Neutral, local styles when possible. You want to leave the flashy jewelry, the big cameras, and the touristy bags at home. You want to blend in. You want to walk with purpose and confidence. Even if you're a bit lost, don't stop in the middle of a busy street looking confused. Step into a shop or safe area to check your map. And learn basic phrases in the local language. It shows confidence and discourages people who are looking for clueless tourists. How about safety tools? What personal safety tools do you carry when traveling? Well, my suggestion would be, first of all, if it's legal, pepper spray. But you have to know how to use it. So if you're going to carry pepper spray, make sure you take a class so you know how to use it. Personal alarms attached to your bag. We talked about the personal alarms that can go in the hotel rooms, but you also want a personal alarm attached to your bag in case you need it. So one of the things I like to teach also is when you have your kids, you're in that 8 to maybe 10-year-old range. Your child has to go to the bathroom. So if you have a mom with a son or a daughter with a dad, maybe they don't want you going into the bathroom with them. So you have a couple choices. You either go in with them anyways, because I know as a parent, I don't want to take my eyes off of them. But here's another thing that you might be able to do. Personal alarm. Give that child a personal alarm. You're standing outside the door. If they get intimidated in any way or approached in any way, they can always hit that alarm and you could be right into that bathroom right away. So that's another good use for a personal alarm is to give to your child. Portable door locks we talked about for your hotel rooms. Tactical flashlights. I love tactical flashlights. I think everyone should carry one, both for seeing and as a potential striking tool. And most importantly, your situational awareness. Your mindset is your first line of defense. So what's the number one piece of advice for solo or international travelers? Trust your gut. If a driver, shop, person, or street feels off, leave. You owe no one an explanation for protecting yourself. Be polite if you choose, or be firm. But listen to that inner warning system. And I always tell my students, your instincts are there for a reason. Do not override them. And don't worry about being nice. I talk about this a lot of times too. Nice is going to get you raped. Nice is going to get you killed. Stop being nice to everyone. I hope today's episode has given you some new ways to think about your travel safety. So that's it. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Range of Reality. Remember, safety isn't about fear. It's about preparation and mindset. If you take nothing else away from this, remember, stay aware, trust your intuition, have a plan, and keep training. If you'd like to dive deeper, we offer full classes on situational awareness and personal protection. Visit our website at rangeofreality.com to learn more or to register. Any product that you hear me discuss on this podcast can be found and purchased on my Amazon page. Additionally, I have products that are my personal favorites in terms of personal safety. Check the link in my description. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Don't forget to support my sponsor, United States Concealed Carry Association, uscca.com, or on my website, rangeofreality.com. Until next time, stay strong, stay aware, and keep training.